What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and one of the worst professions today, at least in terms of people respecting you and thinking that you're a good thing for society, just about the worst and least respected among us these days are journalists. Video game journalists, in particular, are awful.
That is one big pile of shit.
These people are so obviously on the side of the big corporate studios making games and against the small guys, the people who play the games, that we just can't trust a damn thing that comes out of their mouths.
He's full of shit!
The reviews for Dragon Age the FAILguard are a prime example of what we're talking about here. Bioware has been silencing anyone who dares to give a negative review of their game. Or, really, they're even silencing anyone who would give a lukewarm or tepid review. All they want is glowing praise, because they know that Dragon Age the FAILguard is a stinker that can't stand on its own 2 feet, and their only hope is to trick people into playing the game. But we are calling them out for this shit, because the toxic positivity that they're trying to cultivate here is blatant and obvious, especially in the face of all the gameplay videos that are circulating the internet despite their best efforts to hide them.
Is it really you?
Yes, my dear. I guarantee it. Would I lie?
The media has been found to be using the same phrase over and over to describe this game in their reviews, as if they're copying each other's homework. This is clearly a campaign to promote this game. This is one of the last desperate gasps of an archaic profession, mainstream journalists. They're trying with every fiber of their being to convince us that this game is good, but you'd have to be a very specific kind of stupid by now to believe anything that they say about video games.
No, Bespin, don't bet! Ah! No.
Fool you! Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We have been getting a ton of new subscribers lately, which is why I am now obliged to ask the following question.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo!
We now have 78,000 space pirate a-holes roaming through space in our Buccaneer crew, and, as is the custom on this channel, with every 1,000 subscribers, I add a new ship to the fleet in order to house the newcomers. This time, one of you suggested the ship from Saints Row 4, which you can see soaring around back here. If any of you have any suggestions for future ships, drop them into the comment section and I will add them to my long list. Super chats get bumped to the top of that list with other super chats, but in any event, thanks to everyone for being here.
I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Anyways, let's dive into this crap that we've got going on here with Dragon Age the FAILguard. The thing is, gamers have known for a while that there is something a bit off with this game. Their very first trailer had many of us assuming this was going to be an absolute dud. It was clearly cartoonish, unserious, and in the context of Dragon Age, where the game is supposed to be dark and gritty, this was completely unacceptable. Most people decided right away that either A, they weren't going to buy this game at all because it looked like complete dog shit, or B, the Dragon Age diehards, the people who love the franchise and really want the game to be good, a lot of them were very vocal about their desire to wait for reviews to come out so they could decide then whether or not it was worth their money and their time. Well, clearly, Bioware and EA noticed this as well because they have been doing everything in their power to curate who gets to review this game before release, as we've been covering here on this channel for the past few days. But now, it looks like Bioware might actually be astroturfing reviews, essentially pushing these mainstream media types to say specifically what they want them to say in order to trick people into trying this game out. This tweet from Grums, aka Mark Kern, the former team lead of the OG World of Warcraft, this tweet of his really lays the situation out for everyone to see. We need to talk about captured gaming journalism and how corrupt it's become. Dragon Age the FAILguard is astroturfing articles and reviews now, parroting the lead narrative designer of the game. Look at these reviews and articles that all repeat the same phrase and ask yourself what is going on. And then, underneath his tweet, he posted an image of this blue sky post from John Epler, one of the directors of Dragon Age the FAILguard. In this post he wrote, "So 5 years ago, when I first rejoined the project as narrative director after a hiatus on Anthem, I was asked my goals for the project. And one of the ones I put was I want to see the phrase, a triumphant return to form, for Bioware in at least one review, excited to finally mark that goal done." And then Grums posted this screenshot of a shitload of these reviews saying the same thing, echoing what Epler said. In fact, this is so similar that I find it literally impossible to believe that this is organic. Let's read some of this shit. The top one there is from Rolling Stone. Dragon Age the FAILguard is a return to form for a beloved RPG franchise. And then the next one down is from GameSpot. It says, the FAILguard feels like a return to form for Bioware. And then Digital Trends says, Dragon Age the FAILguard is a return to form for this once lauded RPG studio. And then the next one down is Games Radar, which says, in many ways, Dragon Age feels like, wait for it, a return to RPG form for Bioware. And the bottom one is from PSU, which says, FAILguard is a complete package that gives you everything you could ever wish for in an action RPG, and is without a doubt a return to form for Bioware. I mean, you can just completely tell that the NPCs all got the same update, can't you? Obviously, somebody in marketing decided that the phrase, a return to form, tested well with gamers. I simply cannot believe this was all done organically. The odds of every one of these reviewers using what amounts to a fairly niche phrase in their review of the same game, a game where the studio is famously now only permitting certain reviewers to review it ahead of time, yeah, there are just too many coincidences to believe this is something that happened naturally. Now, the game is in the top 10 bestsellers on Steam right now, and I know a lot of people out there are upset to see this, but this was always to be expected, folks. The only real competition the game has right now is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is obviously kicking its ass just because it's Call of Duty. But this game, Dragon Age, is a AAA game with a massive marketing budget, and it's attached to a franchise that a ton of gamers love. So this was always going to have decent sales. Right at the outset anyway, it was going to have decent sales. I fully expect the game to sell 1 million copies, and these journalist types will all parade that fact around like it's a major accomplishment, but the truth is that if they hadn't infested this game with woke shit, shoving gender ideology stuff down our throats, it would have sold a hell of a lot better. And in fact, as I've covered on the channel before, if the game doesn't hit just shy of 5 million copies sold at full price, they will not make their money back on this game. So take heart, the game has actually fallen to 5th place on Steam. It was as high as 3rd, but this is not as impressive as the Dragon Age defenders, as the corporate ass-kissers want it to be. But in any event, I'm going to leave it there. Drop your mockery of Dragon Age and game journalists into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.